So Victor, start with Spears, Tyron and Ty. Give us a little analysis on how they're doing.
They've had a really, really good camp. They've really progressed a lot in the pass rushing ability. Their summers were great. The thing that I really respect and love about those two is how much they compete against each other, and in a great way. I think that's what we're always trying to hunt, are guys that are trying to be alphas, and both those guys have that characteristic about them, and they come out and they compete every day. And I'm talking about from basic get-offs to how many sacks they had that day, and to everything in the meeting room, and it's a lot of fun. So they've really progressed really nicely, and been able to take things that we've learned in the classroom to the practice field, and can't wait to see them cut it loose on the 31st.
So behind them, what do the guys look like? Are you confident somebody could play there if you need them, or is that still a work in progress?
Yeah, well, it's always a work in progress, but we moved Tor Simmons over full-time basis with the Spurs, and he's really been fantastic. He's really earned the trust of his teammates and of me and the coaches and all that. So I'm really excited about him and the way he's progressed. He's he's been here for a while, and he's shown some things that he hadn't shown before, and really excited about him moving forward into this season. But yeah, he's going to be able to get us a bunch of reps this year, and then we've got true freshman Obi, who's still got some ways to go learning wise, but he's got a great motor and he's got a great skill set. He just has to go through the learning curves of being a freshman.
And Fisher, I guess, is there too, but hurt?
Yeah, Fisher's still recovering, and he's on great track.
So the position overall, would you like to have more depth? Are you comfortable with the numbers you got?
Well, you always want to have a little bit more depth, but with the guys that we have right now, a good number in that room is about 5. And guys that, the pass rush aspect of what they're able to bring to the table is always the premium in that position. But being able to be flexible also with the coverage world and also in the run fits is a huge factor of what we're trying to do. We just can't be third down guys. So those guys have really developed in all aspects of their game. But I'm really comfortable and really happy right now with where they're at. And they're still hungry for more, which is great. And I just can't wait to see them under the lights and see how they go. And we try to replicate as much as possible, but I can't. And that's what we try to do as coaches. But for them to cut it loose on Saturday, the 31st, is going to be awesome.
Bradley was talking the other day about you open up his game a lot in the pass rush and all of that. You obviously weren't here last year, but how much have you had to change with your goal of trying to make the pass rush better? He talked about some moves in different situations that he wasn't doing before. Was it a catastrophic difference or just little tweaks? Like, how much work are you putting in to make that better?
We talk about pass rush every single day, and again, that's just one of the angles that those guys have to be really, really good at, and understanding angles, alignment, stances, the setup move to what you're gonna end up getting to the quarterback with. And I've always said that the true definition of team defense is versus the pass, because everyone has to do their job. Against the run, sometimes you can call a certain call to get in there. You can sometimes accidentally fall into a great tackle, but really, you need the great work of the back end. You need the guys in the middle understanding, controlling the underneath levels of the coverage aspect, and then the guys up front being able to do their part of it. Like, if one area of that falls short, it's really tough. And that's part of football right there. But yeah, we've really tried to work on just being precise with hand placement and landmarks, and working with the defensive line in certain twist games, and really just taking his skill set and building from what he's already had. And I can talk until I'm blue in the face. It really takes guys like him, any of these players, to be like, all right, they've got the ability, they've got the skill, but they've got to have the willingness to go out there and do the extra work on a regular basis, just not the 2 hours that I get with them. So I really commend those guys, especially Tyron, for taking on such a great leadership role, and I know it's going to pay off for him. Hard work always pays off.
How much of a shock is it, like a guy like Torres, when you take his hand out of the dirt, out of the three-point stance? Because we hear about NFL all the time, teams going from 4-3 to 3-4, and it's like a different position. Is that the case with you guys?
Yeah, it's always a little bit different. Obviously from the stance all the way to the responsibilities in the coverage aspect, and also your run fit. And, I know he played a little bit of spur and D-line last year, and him to focus just on the outside backer position this year this fall camp has been really, really good. But yeah, it is it's a different mentality also, where you can't just be all forward all the time. You've got to kind of understand the big picture and see a lot more in space. And hey, man, he's asking so many great questions in those meeting rooms, and he takes great notes. And he's one of the guys where he's going to be successful because he can take things from the classroom to the practice field to interactions and the full scrimmages. I really think the world of him and just his grit. He's really done a really good job for us this fall camp, and he's going to help provide some really good depth that we need. And on special teams also, I mean, he's been showing out, and he's getting called out for positive things every day, and I just love guys like that.
Vic, Tyron said that you told him pass rushing is like chess,
Yeah.
which that seems like such a non-violent competitive sport, but he said the analogy really works.
Don't get it twisted. We're very cerebral in that room now. Yeah. We in our downtime we play we read books and play chess, and it's a good time. No, I'm just kidding.
He said it's very intellectual and
Yes.
saving moves and setting things up too. And I don't know if he didn't know that, but it does seem like a teaching point of view that does break through.
100%. We talk it all the time about pass rushing is patience, and it is a setup move, and it's about having the right time in the right situation. Because in the course of a game, a team may throw the ball 40 times, but there really only may be 10 true drop back passes to be able to get back to the quarterback. So you can't just the patience that he's talking about in the chess match is you're working that one-on-one battle with that offensive tackle. And hey, that setup move, that special alignment, the certain tempo that you may be attacking that guy with, it all plays into that game within the game. And I think that's where he's really stepped his game up and understanding what side's the slide side versus the man side. Hey, what am I going to see here if we present this front? And I think that cerebral part of it is the chess part of it, and not getting too down when you don't get a sack. But really, we just want to affect the quarterback, make him misthrow the ball by a couple inches. That's what we'd like to get. If we can get a sack and a takeaway, that's just even better. Obviously, sacks are cool, and sack strips are even cooler.
And then you mentioned you got more than third down players, but third down you have to drop back and cover. And I think a lot of people just fixate on pass rush, but the coverage part of it is pretty significant. All the responsibilities there. Can you just explain what goes into that differentiates it from speed or like another linebacker spot?
Yeah, we primarily cover the outside half of the field, the flat, the curl flat, and at times the hook. And those guys' positions specifically are pass rushing premium. So we try to make sure that on third downs we are rushing those guys, but you can't rush them every single down or the disguise is up, and it takes away from the scheme of the 3-4 defense. I think with Coach Leslie, last year, us leading the Big 12 in sacks and tackle for losses, there's a reason for that. I think because saying that fourth or fifth rusher from all different parts of the field is the beauty of this defense. So, yeah, there is a different aspect of it compared to other positions. It's a lot of the same routes, and there's some different sortage that you have to go through in the coverage aspect of it. And I think how that also plays into the pass rush and the run fit is how you can disguise those certain looks into your benefit. And those guys have really done a lot of hard work on that and just not lining up the same exact way every single time, but showing a little bit of deceive, and I think it's going to pay off.
Working day-to-day with Spears too, how much do you deal with them, and what are your thoughts?
We primarily move those spears mainly to the coverage aspect of it. We'll do some group work in meetings and whatnot, but those guys have taken more of a role on the outside with Coach Brown and Coach Leslie and Coach Bell too. So we kind of share the level a little bit. Those guys are tremendous athletes, and they truly have to be a jack of all trades. So that's how we've kind of worked that out right now.
When you're coaching with your individual players and one-on-one and describing what you want, especially those pass rush moves, there's a lot of sound effects. It's kind of like an old Batman video.
Yeah.
Where do all those come from? I mean, do they just roll out? Or did you have a coach that used those?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we make a lot of sound effects. There's no doubt about it. We try to compare ourselves to the tennis players of the world when they're serving the ball. They're trying to really get after it. I don't know. I think it feels good to get out there and scream a little bit from a coach aspect also. They're just, I don't know. That's a great point because there are a lot of sound effects, and some guys have different cadences than others. Like Obi, I feel like he's gonna go through he's gonna hyperventilate almost sometimes. I'm like, you got to slow down a little bit. But yeah, those guys give everything they got every day, and it's a lot of fun to be working with those guys. And sometimes I get in there and mix it up with them too. I got some bruises. That's why I always wear long sleeves, because I got to cover up the bruises nowadays. But yeah, it's a fun time, and they exert all effort. Like you can't practice in slow motion, especially at that position. Really, any position on the field. And so whatever comes out of their bodies, that's, we'll have to cut the mic. We'll have to go off the mic on some of the things I don't like for them to say. But it's a good time. They got a lot of personality, and they're giving tremendous effort, which is all we're looking for.
Is all that personality and the sound effects part of trying to keep up the aggressiveness when you can't actually obviously hit Green and Nico, and you can't be the same aggressiveness as you would in the game, I'd imagine. Is that
Those guys, I like them celebrating a little bit after positive plays. I want them to show personality. I want them, being loose and having fun. It's the greatest game ever, and they get to play it at at the greatest place in the country, man. They have a lot to be happy about and a lot to play for. But yeah, we got to stay away from the quarterbacks. Obviously, there's no doubt about it. So that's why, again, I take some of the beatings on that, and my assistant, Bucky, we take some beatings on that because someone's got to replicate the quarterback.
Tyron actually mentioned that there was one time where I guess he hit you and you were like, hit me harder. So like you have that mentality, I guess.
Look, we can't be telling all the dang secrets in the room, but yeah, I like getting some pads on with them because I want to feel them, and criticize or critique if I'm not feeling it, like Wyatt ain't gonna feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like they got to bring it and try to. Sometimes I go a little overboard, knock me off, and I complain to them about my insurance and the coverage that I don't receive. But no, we have a good time, and I think that's part of it. I think you have to have some brute force. You have to have brute force at every position, and you have to be a guy that can set the edge and also go against probably the best offensive lineman of any offense in the country. And so we got to be prepared for all those different things. But yeah, I try to be hands-on with those guys, and I always tell them if I'm not going to make them do anything I haven't done or willing to do with them. So we get after it.
You went against Ty last year, I know, when you were at App State. So has
Yep.
it been what you thought from the spring to now? And
Yeah, I've known Ty since he was in high school. We recruited him when I was actually at Georgia Southern, and so I've known him for a long time. And we've got a couple DSGB jokes that's down south Georgia boy jokes that we like to talk about, some of the guys from up here. But where Ty's from, Colquitt down in Moultrie, Colquitt County is like one of the premier powerhouses in all of high school football. And I love when some guys sometimes complain about it being hot up here, and I'm like Ty, tell them. And he's like, shoot, they have no idea, coach. And it's different. And I've known Ty for a long time, and I knew when I got on board here and I saw that they had signed Ty, I knew exactly what we were getting. And yeah, I know Trey, his former coach at East Tennessee, who was at Gardner Webb, and he called me. He was one of the first guys to come. He goes, I can't wait for you to get your hands on Ty and see what he's able to do, because we absolutely love him. And it's great. He's smiling from ear to ear every single day, and I can't wait to watch him go, because he puts a lot of work into it every single day in every aspect of this program. And he's fully bought in, and that's great to see, especially as a transfer. He's all in.
Guys like Ty and TJ, is it dealing with the size? Is that the biggest thing, making that jump up to that? And how do you coach that?
Yeah, I think that is one of the bigger, the biggest, moments is when you see the sizes of those guys. But, guys like Ty and TJ that are, quote, undersized, those guys haven't been the biggest guys their whole entire life, right? So they know how to deal with that. And, there's other guys on our team that aren't prototypical size. I mean, they're all over the place. But, man, that's one thing about football that you can't measure. I don't want to be corny with it, but it is the heart, man. Like, you have that in you, and to make it this far at this level and be productive, I think you got to be built a little different. I think it is a lot easier for bigger guys to do some things, but you get some dudes that are running around fast and twitchy and sudden and have been told they're too small their whole life, and you put them in a situation where they can compete at the highest level and just let them go. And it's been awesome to watch those guys, among others, that, it's like, okay, they fit, they belong, they've always belonged, but just happy they're here.
Important for guys like Ty and TJ, don't let them get your hands on you, right?
Right.
Do whatever you have to do to don't let them consume you. Is
That's
that where
right.
you coach them up?
Yeah, working edges all the time and working hand violence, and if they can't touch you, they can't block you, right? So that's always been the motto that we kind of head into things, especially on the defensive side of the ball, and what Coach Jackson is able to do with those guys. I mean, it's constant hand violence, and I mean, you look at guys' hands and that played at the highest levels. I mean, it doesn't matter. They are constantly working that hand violence because they're going against large human beings every single day. But yeah, you cannot get consumed by running down the middle of guys' numbers, and especially if you're a little undersized. But the one thing that both those guys have is some really good arm length and really good pop when they hit you. They're very strong, powerful guys, and it shows. Like, there's been a lot of great clips of those guys really getting their hands on and creating great knockback and really shocking the mess out of guys.
On the flip side, sometimes some of those small guys off the edge give big tackles trouble.
Absolutely, they got to use their strengths. There's a lot of strength to having a fast, twitchy, agile guy on that edge. And some of those guys can contort their bodies in different ways, and they make some crazy things happen. And that's when you sit back as a coach and be like, well, we didn't work that, but thank God he can do that. But it's those guys that you mentioned, man, they've had really great camps and have really been called out for their motor. They're high motor guys that want to get to that football, and it's great. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a grind, but it is everywhere. It's been a work in progress, like we were talking about earlier, and but these guys come day after day, ready to work and giving it their very best.
Okay, anything else for Coach? All right, thank you very much.
Easy peasy.